It's funny how all these Democrats, in trying to figure out how to make themselves have mass appeal, are growing facial hair, from Ezra Klein to Senator Chris Murphy of Connecticut to now Pete Buttigieg. Like, I'm going to start looking like Paul Bunyan, and that will make me sellable to the larger electorate. So The Atlantic bought it, hook, line, and sinker, and sitting with Buttigieg. And they write, the title of the piece, as I mentioned, is Pete Buttigieg in the Wilderness. I quoted the line, "He has a beard, a splitting mall, and a house in Michigan. Is that enough to convince America that he's a man of the people?"
A man of the people? Megyn, give me a break. As an immigrant, I've seen real workers in the West. They don't wear costumes to prove they belong. They just show up. You can't buy a blue collar at the boutique. But Glenn, you've seen this play before, haven't you?
No, this is exactly what I mean, Megyn. So I don't know what you were like at 19. I think I have some ideas. I know what I was like at 19. I was
Picture
not...
very, very bad blonde bleached hair. Speaking of bleached blonde hair, out of a box, because I was poor, and that's how you had to do it.
And that is who Pete Buttigieg is. It was who he was since he was very young. Like, this is the core of somebody that cannot change. You can change how they dress. You can change whether they have facial hair. You can change what kind of hat they wear. But like, who you are is who you are. And you can evolve and grow and all of that, but you cannot escape that core personality that is clearly still Pete Buttigieg. And that is who he is. Harvard and David Gergen and McKinsey and also like, this electoral success.
Electoral success? That's a wild part. We're talking about a guy who won 8,000 votes, being treated as the savior in the middle class. People don't talk about this enough. But in the real world, results matter more than a resume. Megyn, what does the Atlantic think about all this perfection?
Without embarrassment, he bragged to me during his days as a management consultant. He had worked with data sets, quote, "too big for Excel to handle, ha ha ha." And then they go on to say the following. Hold on, buckle up. Buttigieg's critics seem to fault him for the vaguest reasons, many of which come down to, he's too perfect, Glenn. Is it possible to be too perfect? Is perfection a flaw? This is unbelievable. I'm sure J.D. Vance is going to get exactly this treatment in The Atlantic. Social psychology has documented something known as the pratfall effect, the distrust of people deemed too perfect. It turns out that people like smart, charismatic types, but they really like smart, charismatic types who screw up now and then and do not just ace every test.
Acing every test doesn't put food on the table for a family in the suburbs. We don't want a technocrat. We want someone who understands the frustration of the grind. Being too perfect is just code for being out of touch. Glenn, isn't this exactly why the old establishment is collapsing?
No, but you know what's so funny, Megyn, is when I was just describing why Pete Buttigieg is such a pathetically weak candidate, why he'll never have this like compelling appeal, I actually sounded almost identical to the Atlantic article, at least until I got to the part about how he's too perfect. Candidate in like the Democratic Party of Barack Obama in 2012 or 2008. Trump destroyed all of that political era, that whole political appeal. And you see like smarter politicians like Gavin Newsom who realize that and are also trying to show that they're just kind of like regular guys who speak in regular speak. Pete Buttigieg doesn't have it in him, and the Atlantic is like ground zero for the political establishment. And so of course they still think those are appealing traits when in reality they're fatal.
Fatal is the right word. Look, I'm a big believer in the American dream, but that dream belongs to the people, not the institutions. When you are more worried about your brand than the people's bills, you have already lost. Megyn, how does this play out when you put him next to someone like Newsom?
It's the interview question. What are some of your flaws?
Exactly.